guess we're in barrel tonight. This is cheap. Cheap and more cheap. Dollar Tree foam
I
board.
think it was Alan here. It was Alan.
Wing caps open so that you can see how it's constructed. The wing itself is 2 sheets of foam. Foam comes in 30 by 20. Okay, and it's simply rolled around and wrapped back. And then the ailerons or the elevator rudder are articulated right off of the sheet. In other words, the paper covering the sheet is continuous all the way to the edge of the control surface. You'll notice that's another neat thing about it is that there's a little bit of an airflow to the control surfaces. Ultra cheap. Your control horns are your leftover gift cards. Great use for them. Great use for them. The mount for the motor, I had some 1.25" strapping sheet metal that's used for huge crates. And a couple of lengths of that made wonderful motor mounts. It's stuck onto a gift card. In this case, ARRP was kind enough to send me a few samples in the mail. It's a perfect setup. They're shown on YouTube. The gentleman's name is Ed. His channel on YouTube is Experimental Airlines. He's right down here north of Phoenix off of 1701. And he uses this for an FPV platform because your camera goes up here, there's no prop in the way, and this impacts the ground first. Well-protected camera. Okay. I did a little oversized for my own concepts because the wing is a lot larger. He uses only a 6-inch cord. This one is 8 plus 2-inch ailerons. I have another fuselage in mind for this, which is also why you have T-nuts in the wings, is because the other fuselage needs struts.
What's the fuselage?
Same thing, Dollar Tree foam. It's not cut to square, it's rolled square. Check YouTube, Experimental Airlines. Ed does fabulous tutorials on how to bend the stuff and how to get it square and how to glue it, what glue to use where, because everything makes a difference.
And what did you cover the wings with? I see you've got
This
glue up here.
is, the duct tape is for strength and impact resistance. The rest of it is just simply colored packing tape.
You flew?
It's gonna fly as soon as it's calm enough. It's just ready this last week. This one is just gonna be belly flopper.
Do you know what it weighs?
This one weighs 2 5/16 pounds, something like that. This one, I wanted to see if I could get the articulated wing, the multifaceted wing to work. Because I have several concepts for aircraft that I would like to build that require the articulated wing. I guess that's what you call it. Or the Corsair wing, or in my case, I had in mind, I fell in love with Bert Butan's design for a UAV called the Firebird, which is either piloted or a UAV. And it uses the same kind of wing. So I wanted to try that out. And also, I wanted to try doing the triangular boom with the Dollar Tree foam board. I think it came out great.
What do you call that?
I don't know.
Experimental.
The basic dimensions are taken from an XP-54, which, horrible name, they called it the Swoosh Goose. But it had fuselage on top. And your question again?
Is the front of it finished?
No. But the float is not finished, but it's going to be just as square and just as open.
Really?
I have not put electronics in here yet because my extension cords for the servos have not arrived yet. And it takes 30 inches to get back to the back here. So it's just an airframe, and I left the fuselage at the length of the Dollar Tree foam sheet, which is 30 inches. Okay? It takes 10 inches to fold a square 2-inch tube, which is half the sheet. Okay? And it comes out extremely light, extremely strong. This thing right here, pound and a half, without the electronics. And it is strong beyond your wildest imaginations for a foam plane. How many foam planes can you do that with?
There's no spar in the wing?
I can
No
break
spar
it.
in the wing.
Really?
No spar in the wing. There's nothing in there except, I left the tips open so you can see. There's just some strips through the wing. There is some 1/8-inch plywood that makes the angle in here, and then the angle back across the top. And I'll open it up so you can take a look. I just take down the edge here, we'll get that open. And you take a look at the joint. I just did some crossover. Some of it is just foam, and there's 2 that are wood. And then I have backing plates for the, I use nylon screws and T-nuts to hold the fuselage in place. Okay? So it's light, it's strong. The motor is 340 watts, I think, something like that. It should be plenty for this. The prop may be a little small, but I didn't have anything between 6 and 10 inches, so 10 inches was a little much. Anyway, so if you want to know how to do it yourself, like I said, the tutorials on Experimental Airlines are just fabulous. And the strings are here because you're never going to find the holes in here to get the wires in without having a pull cord. So I ran some strings in so I could pull cords in later.
That's great.
That's
Now, the other thing that I discovered that I have yet to talk to Ed about is that you'll notice the aileron control surfaces, there's a lot of wrinkling in the tape. The tape does not like to bond directly to the foam. It loves the paper. But the foam is really a problem. When I got back to doing the elevator and the 2 rudders, I remembered something that we used to do in the late 60s and early 70s when we used foam on airplanes. Take the cheapest white glue you can find, cut it 50% by viscosity. In other words, make it a little runny, about half of what it comes out of the normal bottle at, and then paint the bare foam. Okay, if you paint the bare foam with 2 coats of white glue, cut 50%, you can put any kind of paint you want on it because you're painting the glue, you're painting the white glue. And so the tape sticks a whole lot better to the back, and the hinges actually came out nicer from that. So don't forget your tricks you learned as a kid. They still work.
The gentleman down in the does he have a hand on the Angelo games? I've seen some of his videos.
Yeah, he has some fabulous